Airbus A350 versus Boeing 787. It's one of aviation's fiercest rivalries, but when you look at the real-world facts, things get uncomfortable, especially for Boeing supporters. From fuel burn to passenger comfort, here are 10 brutal truths about the A350 versus 787 battle that might just spark some controversy. Like, subscribe, and let's dive right in. Number 10. Passenger comfort. When it comes to comfort, both the A350 and B787 were designed for long-haul travel with passenger well-being in mind. The A350 does feature a slightly wider fuselage, about 5 inches more than the 787, allowing airlines the option of a more spacious 9-abreast layout. However, in practice, many airlines configure both aircraft with the similarly tight 9-abreast arrangements, making the extra width less noticeable for most passengers. While the A350 boasts a quieter cabin and a consistent 6,000-foot cabin altitude, as compared to the 787's range of 6,000 to 6,500 feet, some travelers have noted that the interior materials on the A350 can feel less premium, with visible wear after just a few years in service. On the other hand, the 787's cabin lighting, large dimmable windows, and modern ambience also contribute positively to the experience. In reality, both aircraft offer comparable comfort levels, with the edge often coming down to specific airline choices in cabin layout and maintenance quality. Number 9. Cockpit and avionics. From a pilot's perspective, the A350's cockpit represents a significant leap in interface design. It features 6 large, interchangeable LCD touchscreens that allow pilots to customize display configurations, whether it's navigation charts, system synoptics, or performance data, directly via touch or trackball input. The cockpit also integrates advanced airport navigation systems with moving maps, taxi guidance, and electronic checklists. Dual heads-up displays, or HUDs, come standard on many operators' A350s, offering real-time flight data without the need to look down, which enhances situational awareness during critical phases like low-visibility approaches. In contrast, the 787 Dreamliner cockpit, while modern and highly capable, uses 5 large multifunction displays based on Boeing's enhanced flight deck design, more closely evolved from the 777. While the 787 doesn't include touchscreens, it offers HUDs, typically 1 or optionally 2, and an electronic flight bag or EFB system integrated into the displays. The avionics suite is based on a dual-core architecture with redundancy and robustness, using Rockwell-Collins systems. Both aircraft use fly-by-wire technology, but Airbus offers full-flight envelope protection and a side-stick controller, which many pilots describe as smoother and more intuitive during manual handling. The Boeing 787, while also fly-by-wire, retains conventional yoke controls and a different philosophy of pilot feedback, less automation intervention and more manual feel. Another major plus, the A350's fly-by-wire system includes flight envelope protections that pilots find helpful during high workload phases like go-arounds or wind shear encounters. It reduces the likelihood of pilot-induced errors, something Boeing's traditionalists used to scoff at, until recent events changed the tone of that conversation. In terms of cockpit innovation, display flexibility, and pilot assist features, the A350 holds a slight edge, but it's worth noting that 787's avionics are extremely reliable and ergonomically familiar for pilots coming from earlier Boeing models, an advantage in mixed fleet operations. Number 8. Materials and build. Both jets feature heavy use of composites to reduce weight and increase durability. But Boeing made a bold move by crafting over 50% of the 787 from carbon fiber reinforced polymer. Airbus followed with about 53% composites in the A350. However, Airbus made smarter decisions with metallic hybrid structures in key load-bearing areas, including some of the structural fatigue issues Boeing later faced. The 787's barrel fuselage design initially led to manufacturing flaws, including wrinkled skin and misaligned shims, problems Airbus mostly sidestepped. While composites offer exceptional strength-to-weight ratios and corrosion resistance, their structural behavior under cyclic loading requires meticulous manufacturing precision, bonding techniques, and long-term fatigue monitoring, areas where Boeing initially struggled to adapt. The A350 also includes titanium in high-stress areas like the wing box and center fuselage, offering improved fatigue resistance. Boeing went bolder, but Airbus went smarter. All in all, on this topic, the A350 has a slight advantage over the 787. Number 7. Fuel efficiency. This is where the numbers really do the talking. On a per-seat basis, the A350-900 is roughly 5 to 6% more fuel efficient than the 787-9 over typical long-haul sectors, depending on configuration and payload. The difference is largely due to three factors: superior aerodynamics, higher capacity Rolls-Royce Trent XWB engines, and more efficient lift-to-drag ratios thanks to its longer wingspan and curved wingtips. Boeing's 787 𝐺𝐸&x and Trent 1000 engines are efficient but have struggled with reliability and fuel burn consistency over time, especially on the longer-range 787-10. Airlines like Lufthansa and Singapore Airlines have directly cited the A350's better fuel economy as a reason to favor it for ultra-long-haul services. In a world where every drop of jet fuel matters, a 6% advantage is worth millions in operational savings over the aircraft's lifetime. That said, the 787's lighter overall structure and lower maximum takeoff weight give it a slight advantage on medium-haul missions, where stage length and payload efficiency factor more heavily into fuel performance. Number 6. Range and payload. Let's talk numbers. A350-900, 8,100 nautical miles. A350-1000, 8,700 nautical miles. 787-9, 7,530 nautical miles. 787-10, 6,330 nautical miles. Boeing fans often point to the 787's long list of city pairs, but the A350 flies farther, with more passengers and cargo more efficiently. The A350's maximum takeoff weight of up to 316 tons, the A350-1000, allows for greater flexibility in mixed payload operations, making it ideal for cargo-heavy markets as well. The A350 ULR, or Ultra Long Range, is a unique weapon from Airbus's arsenal. With it, Singapore Airlines runs the world's longest flight from Singapore to New York, nearly 19 hours non-stop, something no 787 variant is currently certified to do at full passenger capacity. Number 5. Reliability and ground time. The Dreamliner may have had a dreamy name, but its early days were anything but smooth. Remember the battery fires in 2013 that grounded the entire fleet? That issue alone cost Boeing significant credibility. Add that to ongoing issues like structural shimming flaws, electrical problems, and quality control gaps at Charleston, and the 787's reliability reputation has taken a hit. In contrast, the A350 enjoyed one of the smoothest entries into service in Airbus history. Though it had its share of minor teething problems, it has maintained dispatch reliability rates of 99.5% or better for most operators. Among others, the A350 did face some early concerns, such as delamination in certain fairings, software glitches, and cabin humidity system anomalies, but none resulted in large-scale grounding or operational disruption. And let's not forget that the A350 systems were built with serviceability in mind. Parts access is more streamlined, and its health monitoring systems reduce unscheduled downtime. For an airline, that's not just a nice-to-have, it's a financial necessity. Number 4. Cabin experience. Cabin pressure, air humidity, and airflow might sound boring until you're halfway into a 15-hour flight. Both jets offer improved humidity and lower cabin altitudes, but the A350's design allows it to maintain slightly higher humidity levels and a more stable temperature gradient throughout the cabin. And noise? Independent measurements have consistently shown that the A350 has one of the quietest cabins in commercial service, with decibel levels up to 5 dB lower than on the 787. Less droning engine noise, less airflow hiss, less fatigue for passengers and crew alike. The A350 also features a unique overhead air distribution system that prevents cold drafts and hotspots. However, the 787 has an important health-related advantage. It uses electrically driven air compressors rather than engine bleed air. This bleedless system delivers fresher outside air directly into the cabin, avoiding potential contaminants from the engine and contributing to a cleaner, healthier cabin environment overall. For this specific aspect, I'd give the 787 a slight edge when it comes to cabin air quality and overall health-related comfort. We've compared comfort, we've compared technology and performance, and it's already looking rough for Boeing. But what happens when we get into operational costs, safety culture, and passenger preference? That's where the real shock comes in. Let's hit the final 3, and they might just seal the deal. Number 3. Manufacturing and quality control. This is where it gets uncomfortable for Boeing loyalists. Boeing's decision to decentralize and outsource huge sections of 787 production saved costs initially, but at the expense of consistency. Fuselage barrels were built in Italy, wings in Japan, and final assembly happened in Everett or Charleston. Each step introduced variability. Boeing engineers spent years resolving mismatches, tolerance errors, and supplier delays. Airbus, by contrast, kept tighter control of A350 production, maintaining a more vertically integrated supply chain. Components were still built globally, but final assembly remained centralized and quality controlled in Toulouse. The result? Shorter delivery delays, higher production accuracy, and fewer service bulletins post-delivery. In short, Boeing gambled on cutting corners. Airbus gambled on doing things right. Number 2. Operating costs and economics. Boeing often promotes the 787 as cheaper to operate, but real-world fleet data paints a more nuanced picture. While the 787 has lower engine thrust requirements and lighter airframes, the A350's economies of scale often win out in long-haul performance. Airlines running both aircraft, like British Airways and Qatar Airways, report that the A350 has lower maintenance costs over time, especially with the Trent XWB engine family, which was custom-built for the A350 with long service intervals in mind. The A350 also boasts longer time-on-wing stats for its engines, meaning fewer shop visits and less disruption to schedules. Maintenance man-hours per flight hour are often lower for the A350 than the 787, particularly in high-cycle environments. Even when factoring in the slightly higher purchase price, the A350 proves more cost-effective over a 10 to 15-year period, especially on routes longer than 4,000 nautical miles. And unlike the 787, the A350 hasn't been hampered by engine durability lawsuits or ongoing FAA investigations. Number 1. Passenger and airline preference. Alright, we're gonna be blunt. Flyers know the difference. Frequent travelers consistently rank the A350 higher in airline reviews. In surveys by Skytrax, TripAdvisor, and independent audits, the A350 routinely outranks the 787 in categories like cabin comfort, noise levels, ride quality, even turbulence handling, thanks to its more advanced gust load alleviation system. Pilots, too, prefer it. The A350's fly-by-wire system is praised for precision and ease, while cockpit ergonomics are designed for minimal workload. Even airline executives have chimed in. Qatar Airways CEO has openly called the A350, quote, the most efficient and comfortable aircraft in the sky, unquote. That said, the 787 does have more orders and deliveries overall, 2,100 plus orders and over 1,100 delivered, compared to the A350's 1,300 plus orders and around 600 deliveries. But that's largely due to Boeing's 4-year head start, broader range of variants, and aggressive pricing. When both jets are available side by side, many airlines still assign the A350 to their most premium and ultra-long-haul routes, a quiet vote of confidence that speaks volumes. The Boeing 787, despite being a game-changer when launched, is no longer the king of next-gen twin jets. That crown belongs to the A350, and it's not even close.